guys, it's Becky. Welcome to my channel and Happy New Year. I realize by the time you're watching this, it is not exactly the beginning of the year, but it's far enough into a new year that I think you might have settled into figuring out which of your goals you're actually still working on and which of your goals have already fallen by the wayside. And I love goals. I'm a huge planner. I love planning things. I love setting goals, and I love trying to implement them into my life and just seeing something come from a goal on paper to actually coming true or making progress towards those goals. I love that. I'm super motivated by that. But I know that it can be overwhelming to have a long list of goals and not really knowing where or how or when to implement them into your life, or how to make steps towards those goals. So after I have my list of goals, which are ever evolving, by the way, I look at them and decide which ones are top priority. Which ones do I really want to start the ball rolling on first? Usually those are things that are more time sensitive, definitely things that are more top priority, like, you know, things to do with my family or my kids or my health or my religion. And then sometimes it's also things that were habits that I was really good at in previous years that I have fallen away from. And I think that can happen to all of us. Sometimes just when life gets busy, we fall out of routines, and some of those habits that used to be just automatic, we have stopped doing. Sometimes it happens when you've been sick or you've been on vacation. So all those reasons, plus I think coming off of Christmas, a lot of us have fallen out of our regular routine. So it's very easy to stop doing something that was already a habit in 2022 or the year before or the month before. So that's also sometimes I will look at those things, even though they may not be top priority. I will usually try to go back and pick those up as soon as possible to re-implement them into my daily routine. So these are just some of the top focuses that I have plucked from my master goal list for this new year that I thought I would share with you how I am making steps towards achieving. So the first thing is making time with God more of a priority. And I talked about this in other videos. I actually just talked about it in my refresh for the New Year video that I did a few weeks ago. As a Christian, God is a huge part of my life, and we're church regulars, and we talk about God and we pray, and I have a relationship with Him, but I still don't think, even after all this time of being a Christian, that I spend enough time with Him. I feel like I don't make the time with Him a priority. It should be the very first thing in my day. And I also struggle with getting up in the morning and wanting to just tackle my to-do list and letting prayer time or time with God or Bible reading or devotionals kind of fall lower and lower and lower on the list. Sometimes it doesn't even make it on the list. Like it'll get pushed down so far that it doesn't even happen. So I really am trying to do things that are proactive to keep that from happening. And so I'm trying to implement this, making God and time with Him a priority, by when I get up in the morning, don't even turn on my computer. Don't even turn on my phone or the TV until I have had prayer time, Bible time, devotional time. It's not the same every morning, but until I have spent some time with God, I'm not turning on the TV or my phone or my computer, because once I do those things, I fall into this like endless black hole of stuff I need to do, or emails that are coming in, or a text that I got that I forgot to respond to. So keeping those things turned off until I have that time with God has really been helpful in making sure that I'm doing something with God first thing in the morning every single day. Something else that we've been doing for a while that I'll kind of add on to this is devotional time with my girls. Now, it was a lot easier to do this when they were both being homeschooled and they were doing group subjects together. It's been a very long time since we did group subjects together, and now that my oldest daughter has graduated from her homeschool high school and she's doing college classes, obviously she's not around during the homeschool day when I'm homeschooling her sister. So I didn't want to just like completely forget and stop doing devotional time just because they don't have the same school schedules anymore. So we actually do a devotional together after lunch. She's usually home for lunch. And so we'll eat lunch together, and then after lunch we do a devotional, and we've done different things. We do things for holidays. We've done devotionals that are specific to one topic, or we'll do one that's like just a different topic every day. But it has become my favorite part of the day to eat lunch together, and then after that turn off the TV, because we eat lunch in the living room while we watch a show, turn off the TV and have that devotional time. So it's just a very intentional way of making sure that just because our life changed and their schedules changed, that we didn't just completely drop this habit that is super important to us. So that's my favorite part of the day now, is after lunch, just having that devotional time. Sometimes it leads to conversation. So find ways to implement God into your life. First of all, by making Him a priority, but then also putting Him in where you know it works with everyone's schedule, so you're more likely to do it. So like I said, for us, if I had tried to do this morning devotion time in the morning with them, it would be a lot harder for us because, you know, they both want to do school, and my oldest daughter sometimes has work. So finding a time in the day when everybody pretty much is on the same wavelength is a really easy way to fit that devotional time in. The second thing is an old habit that I used to be super good about that I have not been good about is making my bed. It's not like it's a huge thing. This is an example of one of those things that's like not gonna make you or break you probably if you don't ever make your bed, but it makes me feel so much better mentally to go to bed at night when the bed is fresh and not all like tangled up and Loki's not been in it all day laying on people's pillows. It's just so much nicer to go to bed when the bed is made and you can turn it down and kind of go to bed with a fresh start. It's also, for me, I find really motivating throughout the day when I know I've made my bed. Honestly, it's the dumbest thing, and everybody on YouTube says it, but it is so true. When you make your bed, it makes you feel more productive and accomplished, and I find that I do more things around the house when I have made my bed. But for whatever reason, I had fallen out of doing it during Christmas time. It makes me feel better to have it made, and it makes me more productive. So for that reason, it is important to me. So I'm trying to get back in the habit of making it every day. So that is something that you should try if you have not done it. Make your bed in the morning. It will make a huge difference in how you feel throughout the day and how you feel when you go to bed. A third thing that I'm really trying to focus on and make progress towards is not just working out consistently, which is something that I have done pretty much for the last 9 years. Now, I've definitely had ebbs and flows, but I'm trying really hard to listen more to my body. I talked about this, I think, did I talk about this in my refresher year video? I don't remember. Yeah, I did. I talked about it. I talked about being more forgiving of my body, being more in tune to it and listening to it more. And that's a huge thing for me, is listening to my body and being okay with movement of any kind versus just having, in my mind, I had built up like certain workouts that were good enough to count as a workout. And if I didn't do one of those workouts and I didn't sweat hard enough, or I didn't lift heavy enough, or I didn't do, you know, certain types of things, I felt like, well, what I didn't make a difference. It wasn't good enough to be counted as a workout. And so I'm trying really hard not to do that. And I've kind of been forced into doing that in some ways because I'm getting older. So I'm having to learn to do things differently, or that things are different now. Because of some injuries, I have had to adjust what I'm doing and the intensity that I'm able to do it. And so because of those things, I have kind of started to realize that I need to be more forgiving of my body, and I need to be less rigid when it comes to my definition of a successful workout. So that's been something that I've been really thinking about and working through, is being more forgiving of myself and counting any movement as exercise. Even if it's not something that's super sweaty or super intense, it's still movement and it's still good for me and a healthy choice that I have made for that day. So another thing that I really wanted to focus on in 2023 is not being glued to my desk all the time. Now, I don't mean literally, but as a stay-at-home mom, the person who does all of the book work in the family, we homeschool and I work at home. YouTube is my job, so I'm always on the computer doing things for that. It is so easy for me to sit down at my desk and never get up the rest of the day because I've always got stuff to do at my desk. I could work at my desk all the time and never get done. I'm trying to focus really hard and institute what I call desk days, where typically Mondays and Fridays I have found are the days where I'm the most backed up. Like Monday, I'm backed up from things that I didn't do over the weekend, and Friday I might be backed up from things that happened throughout the week that I need to catch up on, and also looking ahead for the weekend, because I don't usually spend much time at my desk on the weekends, making sure that I have, you know, everything graded from the week for homeschooling and all the bills are paid for that week, and, you know, kind of closing up shop on Friday. So that's why I picked Mondays and Fridays. So I'm trying really hard when I make my to-do list every single day, or when I look at my week at a glance, that I schedule things on Mondays and Fridays that are desk related. So unless there's something that comes up, you know, sometimes you get a piece of mail that you have to respond to immediately. Or unless, you know, I get an email from somebody, you know, a brand that I'm working with, and I have to respond to that brand immediately. I'm trying really hard to keep things that are desk related on Mondays and Fridays. So that way I have Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays to focus on things in my home, to work on keeping my house cleaner and more organized, to work on decluttering, to spend more time with my family, to do more things as a family. That has been something that I have really been trying to work on. And the last thing that is kind of funny, and you guys might think it's dumb, but is a better bedtime for my youngest daughter. She is 12, almost 13. I'm not sure when this is gonna go up. She turns 13 in January. So I love having my girls around all the time. And even though we homeschool and I'm with my youngest a lot, and even though my oldest is usually home at lunch and we're together, and you know, we have a lot of time together, but it's never really enough. And I love having them up, and especially at nighttime when nobody's doing school and, you know, everybody's home, and it's just a really fun time to like sit around and watch TV or play a game or something like that. And so sometimes I find that she doesn't go to bed as early as I think she should, and she certainly doesn't go to bed as early as my oldest did at her age. I don't really know why. It's harder to get her in bed at a decent time just because my oldest is around. I don't really get it. But anyway, it has happened, and especially coming off Christmas break where nobody had school, we had gotten in the habit of staying up a little bit late watching Christmas movies and stuff like that. So I'm trying really hard to get her on a decent schedule, because her bedtime routine is important, not just for her sleep, but also it sets us up for the next day if she's not wanting to sleep in all day because she's been up too late at night. One thing that I'm doing, and you guys are probably gonna think this is really stupid, but it's not, like, time slips up on me, and I would lose track of time and not at nighttime, and then I'd realize like 9 or 9:30 would roll by and she hadn't even had her shower or whatever. So I have set an alarm on my phone. It's a reminder on my phone. It's set to go off at 8 o'clock every weekday, because the weekend sometimes they can stay up a little bit later. Every weekday it is set to go off at 8 o'clock. That way it gives her an hour and a half, because I really wanted her to be in bed by 9:30 at the latest. It gives her an hour and a half to take her shower, have a snack. We usually watch a show. Sometimes we've been playing a game. Right now we're in the middle of working a puzzle, and, you know, I've got on the kitchen table and we kind of couple pieces, you know, every day. So that gives her an hour and a half to have a leisurely bedtime routine, but that still gives her enough time to be able to get everything done that she needs to do or that we want to do, and get her in bed at a decent time. So I'm excited for the progress that we have made on some of these goals that I have kind of cherry picked as the most important. Now, we're not perfect, and I'm not perfect. I don't do them perfectly every single day. There are definitely days when I have not done my Bible time in the morning. There's definitely days where she hasn't been in bed. Like tonight, she's not gonna be in bed by 9:30 because they're going skating, and I know we're not even gonna get home until 9 o'clock. So, you know, but that's okay. I mean, the point of this is not to make you just completely a rigid machine, but it's to give you structure, it's to help you be intentional, and to take little steps towards bigger goals and little steps towards habits that you want to implement in your life. So I'm really excited with the progress we've made so far, and I did reference that Refresh Your Life video a couple times in this video, so I highly recommend you go back and check that out. That video, I think, is very, very pivotal in changing your life, and also changing your approach to life, your mentality, and your outlook. I think it's really important, so make sure you check that video out if you haven't seen it already. And if you'd like to, let me know in the comments a goal or a habit that you really want to work towards in 2023. And we can talk about maybe some small steps that you can take towards reaching those goals or towards making that a habit. So if you'd like to share, definitely leave that in the comments for me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.